Hi, everyone. Happy November 1st. Welcome to Morning Glory Needleworks FlossTube number 21. I'm Dawn Fisher, of course. I'm so happy you're here. And again, thank you to everybody who's been watching my videos and subscribed. I really appreciate it. I love reading all the comments and I try and reply to all of them. And I'll do my little blurb. I always do this at the beginning of every video. Any links that I talk about, I think in this one, there's only going to be one, are listed below the video, at least on my laptop. It's there'll be a little blurb about welcome to FlossTube 21. And then if you hit the more button, it will show the whole thing. And the links are in there. There's links to my, you can email me, my links to my email, Etsy, my Instagram page, which is MG Needleworks, the Stitch of the Month Facebook page, the Morning Glory Needleworks Facebook page. There's a link to what's called Buy Me a Coffee, and that's if you want to donate or buy me a coffee, give me some money. Bio.link, which actually kind of has one link. If you go there, it has a link to everything pretty much. And I also break my videos into chapters. So if you only want to watch one segment, or if you've watched it all and you want to come back and watch Stitch of the Month again, there'll be all the chapters listed, and then it'll have a timestamp next to it, like 6 minutes and 48 seconds. So you just click on that timestamp, it will take you right to that section of the video. So if there's just something you want to watch, you could just watch that part of it. I hope you watch it all, of course, but meanwhile, that will take you to that. So, and as a reminder, I'm not getting paid for any of this. I don't get, FlossTube doesn't, or YouTube doesn't pay me. I don't get compensated to talk about any products or anything. I just talk about them because I like them and I hope you will like them also. So it's the 1st of November. And actually, right now, for me, it's Halloween. It's still the 31st because I always record a day ahead. I have on my Halloween, my Hocus Pocus Amok t-shirt. I fell in love with it. It reminds me of I think it's supposed to be like a ugly Christmas sweater, but to me, it looks like stitching. So I had to have it. So anyway, I'm going to start with a life update, just kind of let you know what's been going on, which is a lot. We do have a lot going on. Jeffrey has a lot of doctor appointments. I've had a few doctor appointments. I've been busy with my business stuff. I've also been working on my office sewing room thing here, trying to make it more organized. It's kind of, everything's kind of everywhere. I try and have this look kind of organized, but it's really not. And I think I mentioned, and I know I mentioned in the last video, we put a new air conditioner in. So I'm thrilled. It took, we got it in there. It was a little challenging. We ordered a metal shelf that sits outside the window, so the air conditioner could sit on that and then sit in the window, because we didn't have a nice flat ledge for it to sit on. The window was kind of weird. So, and then because Jeffrey can't really lift anything, I had to pick it up and carry it around. So that was challenging. It's not very big, but it's really heavy and really awkward. So we got that done. And then once we got it in the window, we realized the slats, the accordion things they put on the side, which are supposed to go out to the side, were not wide enough for our big window. It's the only window in the room, and it's about 35 inches wide, but I guess most of them only have 9 inches on each side. And this air conditioner is small, so it has about 10 inches on each side. So the accordion things don't fit. So I had to go buy something else to use for that. We haven't gotten that fixed yet, but I have it kind of rigged so the windows, the sides are covered up. And so we're going to get that done in a day or two. It's good enough right now. It's working. I'm very happy. It's quiet. I've got a remote. I can do all sorts of stuff with it. I'm very happy. So, and the other thing I've done is just today, I ordered a new cube shelving unit, kind of like this one back here. Only this is IKEA, and I did not get another IKEA one. This is one off of Walmart.com. So I'm going to have to put that together. Meanwhile, on the other side of my table here, I've got like it's actually a cutting table kind of in the middle of my sewing room. My room is real long and narrow. So on the other wall, it's a huge, well, actually it's huge sewing machine table. And it's wonderful. Jeffrey got it for me at a yard sale or somewhere. He buys me stuff like that. And it's great, except I really don't sew that much. So I've kind of decided I'd rather have shelving and somewhere to put stuff, because it sits there and it's just covered with stuff. Because I have featherweights that I usually sew with if I sew at all, and I can put those on my desk. So, and this it's very wide, and the front opens up, and then it's got a big, huge flap. I'm sure you've seen them. It's a really wonderful sewing machine table, but I don't use it, and it's taking up space. So I'm going to move that out. Hopefully I can get that moved out of here by myself, because I did not move it in by myself, but that was a few years ago. And so I'm going to move that out and then build the shelving unit in there. So I've been pretty busy. I've already gotten rid of, a month or so ago, my laser printer died. So, and for what it's worth, it wasn't worth trying to get it fixed. It's just easier to buy a new one. And I got a wonderful Epson printer, inkjet printer with the little ink, refillable ink things, so much cheaper than the big ink cartridge toners, because if I bought them all, it was like $300. So it's crazy. You can buy a new printer for $300, So anyway, I got rid of my old printer. It's still printed black, but it wouldn't print color. So I gave it to one of the neighbors. And then I also had this huge, wonderful printer stand, which was great when I had a bigger office. But again, it took up room and it wasn't really it didn't work in here. So I gave that to the same neighbor, and she took it into work. So meanwhile, I'm trying to arrange and clean stuff up and get it straightened out. So I want to spend a little more time in here so I can get more stuff done. So that's what's going on here right now. Like I said, we've had a lot of doctor appointments and things going on. Jeffrey's feeling pretty good, but he is going to chemo once every 3 weeks, and then he's on chemo pills for like 2 weeks. And he's also getting new teeth. He's getting dentures. He's so excited. We've been trying to get him into the dentist to get him teeth for a couple of years, but between COVID and his surgeries and everything else, we just haven't been able to go. So we just decided it's going to get done. And he talked to his oncologist about it. He's been to see the oral surgeon. Matter of fact, he goes on the 7th to have his teeth removed, and he has his new teeth already that they'll put in. And we talked to his doctor, and the oral surgeon talked to Jeffrey's doctor to talk about. Anyway, it was like everybody was talking to everybody, and we got it set up so he can get his teeth pulled and get his new teeth in and all that. And he'll be able to like eat steak and caramel and stuff again. I don't know if that'll pull the teeth out. Anyway, whatever. So that's another, I think in 1 week we had 5 or 6 appointments. And then I had a couple of appointments too. My just basic mammogram. Make sure you get your mammogram. I had my mammogram, my yearly mammogram. Of course, it was fine, luckily. So anyway, that's enough of that. That's what's going on here. We're busy, but pretty content right now. And there's, it is what it is. That's just kind of, we're taking it day by day right now. So enough of that, enough of my life, our life. So I wanted to update everybody on the Jingle Ball, which I talked about in the last video, the last FlossTube 20. I mentioned that it was December 5th and 6th. I was mistaken. Somebody commented, I think after I did it, I went and looked and I went, oh no, it's the 2nd and 3rd. And somebody commented that, to let me know that I had the wrong date, and I'm sorry. But if you went to the link that I had provided, and it's in there again this time, to the Jingle Ball, it does have the correct dates, the correct dates are actually December 2nd and 3rd. The first classes, I talked about that. I got into 2 of them. They sold out almost immediately. They have since put up more classes, and I was lucky enough to get into one of those also. I got into 2 classes by Eric Michael's Designs, and one is a sampler lecture, which of course I want to do, and the other is how to make those strawberries, those big strawberries. Eric Michael's Designs has a lot of those out. And then I just got into another one, which I think is Teresa Kogut. I believe it's making books, which sounded really exciting. I'm trying not to do any big projects because I have so many things I want to do and things I'm working on. But I was very excited about that. And if you haven't been there yet, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's 12 different designers. Again, I am not affiliated with this in any way. I'm just so excited because you can do it at home. And the classes are like Friday and Saturday, different times. There's other perks. Every designer is providing everybody with a free, well, it's $10 for the Jingle Ball. That's pretty cheap. So every designer is providing everybody that attends a free pattern. And there's also going to be special items for sale that they won't have, that are not going to be for sale on through regular means, through the regular outlets. There's going to be virtual like tables, like you would set at if you were at a retreat with other people, where you can all sit together and talk and show off what you're working on, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited. And anytime I get to meet new stitchers and all that, if you haven't been to a retreat, this is kind of fun. I'll give you a little taste of it. I love going to retreats. I've met so many people. When I started going to them, I didn't know anybody. That's how you meet people. When I first joined EGA, I didn't know anybody in the chapter. That was back in the 80s, early 80s. And I didn't know anybody. I've gone to like EGA national retreats and roomed with people I don't know. I know they're stitchers. I've done that quite a few times to save the cost of, because usually what EGA national, the room's pretty pricey. So I've stayed with other stitchers that I don't know. I've never had a problem. Same with even regular retreats. I have stayed with people that I don't really know. But I now when I go, I usually stay by myself just because I like to have a little alone time. But anyway, I just wanted to share that information because I'm really excited about it. It's something new and different. And like I said, another way to meet other stitchers and get together and talk about stitching. So what more could you ask for? So now I think I might have mentioned last time. Yes, I did. In my last video, I talked about a new teaching piece I was doing, and it's based on the Sari Outfill sampler, which is the big antique sampler I have. I don't have, this is my reproduction of it here. And it's like 36.5 inches long. It's big and about 7 inches wide, 6.5 inches wide. So I want to, well, anyway, last time I mentioned I made a mistake in calculating the size of the fabric. I was thinking the piece was only going to be 3 inches wide, which sounds tiny, and it sounded tiny to me, but I wasn't thinking. But I forgot that most of the sampler stitched over 3 threads. So I was dividing my number of squares, my chart size, by 2 instead of by 3. So needless to say, I had to like stop and start over again. So I have it here. I have restarted it. I'm quite a ways through it. Now, again, this is going to go with the Sari Outfill sampler, and it's going to use all the stitches she uses in her sampler, but it's going to be a smaller sampler, more manageable size for a class. Stitching on this 36.5 inch, and maybe you have to, you know, count down 150 threads or 300 threads to get to the next area to stitch or whatever. Probably not 300, but anyway, because there's a stitch here and then there's a stitch way down here. So I just decided to take parts of this sampler and make it into a smaller, manageable sampler. And what will happen is when I teach the class, you will get all the silk threads. This is 46 count linen, which matches the size pretty close of the original sampler. But you will also get a piece of 40 count linen to work the smaller sampler on. So you can learn the stitches. It might be a little easier to see the 40 count. And then it won't be so far to count to get to the next section. And what I've done, this is part of it. I've gotten, there's actually a whole nother section up here that I've done. So this is, there's like, I think 3 bands above this. There's a big another, so it's probably about this much longer up here. Oops, there we go. And this section here is done over 4 threads. This is a section that's done over 4 threads, and it has the 2 stitches that I had never seen before. I think, I don't know if Sari just made them up, just kind of stitched. It took me a while to figure them out, but they're kind of fun. They're different. And this is the diagonal cross stitch. There's black work. There's going to be detached buttonhole, eyelet stitches. This is a row of eyelet stitches. This is a cross stitch alphabet over 3 threads. So I've kind of taken just parts of it, you know, a section of this. So you can try and stitch over 4 threads the black work. You can do the 2 stitches by Sari. There's trying to think of all the other stitches in here. There's satin stitch and all sorts of stuff. So it's probably going to be a 2-day class. I'm not sure how it's going to be. I think I would rather have it be 2 days so we can take our time and make sure you understand how to do all the stitches and trying to rush through them. And we'll go into great detail about all the stitches. And of course, everything's diagrammed out. And I'll talk about how it is on the big sampler. And like I said, the kit will include everything in there. So I'm not planning to teach it yet. I would love to teach it. It won't be ready for a little while, but if you're interested, let me know. And also I wanted to mention, because of everything else going on, I've kind of stopped traveling out of state quite a bit. I'm still going to retreats. They're local. They're within a few hours of here. I figure if I go in the state of Florida, that's not so bad. I do have a class planned for next October, details to follow, which is in another state. But I think we're going to be okay. There's somebody that can help with Jeffrey if I have to leave right now. He doesn't really need anything other than for me to drive him to some appointments. And I actually think our insurance pays for that. But I like being there. I like, you know, I go to all his appointments with him because then we both hear whatever the doctors are saying. And of course, I write it all down. And so anyway, that's just kind of my plan right now. But if you know of any groups, or if you're in a group or a store or somewhere that would like to do a Zoom class, I've done quite a few Zoom classes and they go really well. I really enjoy it. And a lot of people that might not be able to afford to come to travel to a retreat or travel fly to a big seminar or something, they can do the Zoom. A lot, you know, they do it on their tablet, their laptop, whatever. And it saves a lot of money too, because if you bring me to teach, of course, you have to pay my travel expenses. That's part of the contract. And if I do it over Zoom, you don't have those travel expenses, but you know, it's just the teaching fees, the kit fees, and I think that's about it. And it's nice. People are in their own homes, as long as they have a room where they can go stitch. So anyway, you know, if you know of anybody or if you're interested, I will be happy to talk to you. I can send you a sample contract and some of the samples of some of the classes I teach, or I could design something for you. So that's that's that. I do miss teaching. I miss traveling and teaching very far away. I have a little fly in here, fruit flies flying around my face. Anyway, so if you see me doing this, I'm really okay. So, and I'm just kind of continuing everything that was in my last FlossTube video. I talked about, I have a new design coming out. I'm so excited. I just framed it yesterday. I just got the frame yesterday. So I'm going to share it with you now. Again, I'm really excited. This is really different. It's a lot different from most of my designs, but I'm so excited. I love stitches. I think you figured that out. I have I don't even know how many hundreds of books on stitches. If I see a new or old book on stitches, if I don't think I have it, and sometimes even if I think I might have it, I buy it. So I love stitches. So I want to show you my latest design. It's called Stitch a Day, a stitch a day. You see it here at the bottom, a stitch a day. And that's what it is. This design has 365 different stitches or variations of stitches, and they're all laid out. So you do one stitch a day for a year. When I started designing it, I started with January 1, 2, 3, and I went, no, that's not right, because then people won't want to start it till January 1st. So the stitches are all numbered. I'll show you that in a minute. But anyway, you can see all the different stitches. It was so much fun. Of course, it's a little more challenging when you're designing it and stitching it. So each of these blocks, they're all the same size, is 16 threads wide and 16 threads tall. And then each of the stitches that go around each of these blocks is 2 threads high. Then each stitch or group of stitches in the center, get that so you can see it a little better, is 8 threads high, 8 threads wide. So it all matches. I use my favorite sulky colors for this. I started this on 32 count linen. I think I mentioned that. And I changed to 28 count because I use the sulky 12 weight cotton threads. And it worked good for some of the stitches, but for some of the stitches, which are really dense, it was too small. 32 count was too small. So I switched to 28 count. Of course, when you stitch it, you can use whatever you want. So if you want to use 32 and you're going to use DMC, I would probably use 1 strand of DMC on some of the stitches because they get really bulky. But they're fun, but they're bulky. So I am going to give you the colors I use, which are the sulky thread colors. There's 8 different colors. And then what I've done, I've kind of matched it to DMC so you can get an idea. Now, one of the problems is one of the threads is very variegated. It goes from the pale pink to the pale yellow to the pale green, kind of springy colors. And it's called Spring Garden, if you have that one. So DMC doesn't really have a variegated that matches that, but I found one that will work. It's the same pale, pretty colors, affect a little bit different colors, but you could do this in whatever colors you want. As I was stitching, it was getting closer to fall, and I'm going, this would be beautiful in fall colors, the oranges and greens and browns. It would just be beautiful. You can do it in whatever colors your house goes in your house. So like I said, I'll give you the sulky and the DMC, and it's not quite ready. The pattern isn't ready. Like I said, I just got it framed yesterday, so I need to take a picture of it and finish the pattern. Now I want to show you the pattern with 365 stitches, different stitches. Needless to say, the pattern's going to be pretty big. And right now, I haven't finished it yet, but it's over 40 pages of stitches. So I wanted to show you, this is page 1 of the stitches. So you can see all the different, how I've got it laid out. So here's stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 stitches on a page. And some have a little more directions than others. Most of them, if you just follow the numbers, you can figure it out. They say if they're more than one color, they say what the 2 different colors are. Here's the second page of stitches. So you can see all the different stitches. And I actually worked from this. I printed it out and I worked from this because to me, I want to make sure you can do the stitches. I know what the stitches are, but I want to make them big enough to where you can see it, you can see the numbers, and you can follow it. Well, you know how I do my stitch of the month stuff anyway. So I can't wait to see if there's a big interest in this. If there is, I might create a Facebook stitch along project, SAL group. I think it'd be fun to get a bunch of people, especially at different stages in it. Somebody maybe at stitch 5, somebody maybe at stitch, 120. So it'd be fun to see how they come together. And I love to see the different colors that everybody chooses. I've seen other stitch alongs and I love how people make it their own. So anyway, I'm very excited. And like I said, it should be in my shop in the next few days. So please watch out for it and check it out. And I hope you enjoy. So now it's time for Stitch of the Month. And again, unfortunately, with everything going on, I did not get my sample stitch. Bad me. So, but I do have, this is, I will have these patterns, PDFs in the Stitch of the Month Facebook group. And if you haven't joined yet, be sure to join. So here's the full pattern. This is a row for today, or for this November. And the Stitch of the Month for November 22 is upright rice with a cross in between. So it's hard to see because I'm doing it in light blue, dark blue, and then a rose colored pink. And it's got these upright crosses, or upright rice stitches actually. And then I thought it needed something to fill it in. So I did the cross stitches in between. So I'm sure you can, you know how to do a cross stitch by this point. So let me pull up the PowerPoint like I do, and then I will demonstrate the stitch after that. Okay, so I'm back. So this is exactly what this printout is, what it has on it. That's the diagram. And then above it shows how it looks on the sampler. Each of the sections of the sampler are 2 to 4 threads apart. You can do it as many threads each band apart as you want, but this is very similar to a regular rice stitch, which is an X. It's also called cross corners, where it's in the cross stitch X, and then you cross each corner. So it's all diagonal lines. Well, this is like that stitch, only turned on its side, and it's all horizontal and vertical stitches. So I want you to note, and I've got that in the directions for the stitch, you start the stitch 1 thread in from the edge. You're going to count 2 threads down and 1 thread in. That kind of centers it on the band. So with the other stitches. So we're going to start with the white stitches. That's the only one I numbered. I did the white stitches, or I'm going to, in the Royal Navy, the dark blue. You can choose whatever colors you want. I did it in dark blue, the light blue, the blue heron, and then the petal pink are the black stitches. So you're going to do 1 come up at 1, which again is 1 thread in. You're going to count to the right 4 threads. Then you're going to go down 2 threads and 2 threads to the left, and that's step 3. Come up at step 3 and count up 4 threads and go down at 4. So you've got an upright cross. So now we're going to cross each of the legs of that cross. So you're going to come up at 5, which is 1 thread down and 1 thread to the right of step 1, and go down, come up at 5, down at 6, which is 1 thread up and 1 thread to the right again of 1. Then you're going to go diagonally down to step 7, and you can see on the diagram where that's at, over 2 threads for 8, cross up to the top, 9, 10, and then you're going to do a diagonal on the back again for 11, 12, and that's your first stitch. Now, what you can do is do all the white stitches. You can do 1 and then count over 4 threads, and they all share holes. You can see how they share holes on the diagram here, and count over 4 threads and do your next one in that row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 of the dark blue across the top. You can do them like that. Do 1, skip 4 threads, do the next one, or you can do the 1 and go down diagonally and stitch the 1 or the next white one on the row below, which is diagonally down, and then do the next one diagonally up and diagonally down. That way you won't have to go back and come across the row. You can just go across the row. Then when you get all those done, you'll stitch the gray stitches, which for the light blue on mine. And then you do work it the same way. You just start below and then you can go up and work your way across. Then when you have all of those done all the way across, just go in and fill in the black, which is pink or whatever color you choose. So that's your upright rice with cross stitch. So now I'm going to demonstrate, do a live demonstration of it. Okay, so now I'm going to work. I have my colors here. I have dark blue, light blue, and a red because that's what colored thread I have. So I'm just going to demonstrate the stitch here for you, how, here we are, how to work the stitch. Where am I? There I am. Okay, so I'm going to come up. This is, oh, long thread. This is step 1. And then I'm going to count 4 threads to the right for step 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to count 2 threads down, 1, 2, and 2 threads to the right. There's step, oh, I have thread caught in there. Step 3, 4. Make sure all my threads aren't tangled up on the back. They're a little tangled, but we'll deal with it. So, and then I'm going to count up 4 threads. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's my first upright cross. So now I'm going to come over here, come down 1 from step 1 and to the right 1. And that's step 5, 6. Now I'm going to come up here, which is 1 thread to the right and 1 thread up from step 3. And there's 7, 8. So you're making diagonal lines on the back. I'm crossing across the back. I'm going to come up here. There's step 9, 10. And step 11, 12. Now, like I said, you can count over 4 threads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and do your next stitch here and work your way across. But what I would do is come down here. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's what I thought. So it's 4 threads down from step 2. So 2, 4. Okay, so this is my 1, 2 step for this next stitch. And I'm going to come down 2 over 2. There's 3, 4. It works up pretty quick once you get the rhythm, and it's not real complicated. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, I got a big knot on the back. Thing I'm not like going to save this. 9, 10, 11, 12. And then to start the next one, I'd count up 4 threads or 4 threads over from there, and that would be the next one up here. So you see how I mean zigzag up and down the to go across the row. I just think it'd be easier than going across and coming back or starting back over again, something like that. So I'm just going to finish this stitch, and then I will pull up my next color, which I hope isn't too tangled up here. Okay, so that's that. Pull that out, pull this thread over here and stick it in my pin cushion. Okay, now I'm going to work the blue stitches, the light blue stitches. So I'm going to do it in the zigzag again. So I'm going to start 4 threads down. You can see it lines up with that. Oh, I got enough thread. So there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember, I started, this would be the edge. You're in 1 thread over. Just keep working. This is why I don't use the lighter colors. They don't show up as well. My light is on. That maybe that helped a little bit. Sorry, I touched the camera. So there's the first one. Now I'm going to come up here and work the next ones. Move that over. I'm going to zoom in so you can really see these. See how far I can zoom in. And focus it. There, that's a little better. There. I got threads everywhere here. Okay. So you can see how they share holes. He said this is an easy stitch. It's fun. Something you don't have to think about that much. So finish this one and I'll do the one below, and then I'll do the little cross stitches in between so you can see how they share holes and fit together, because everything shares holes. Okay, oops, red coming up there. Yeah, I got threads tangled all over the place here. On the back. Oops, I went the wrong way. Oh, well. Just want to get it done. Okay, so there I have 3 in each row. So now what I'm going to do is fill in the rest of this. So I'm going to come up here on the edge. So this is 1 thread to the left and 1 thread up from this bottom stitch here. And this, where I go down, is going to share holes. So this is where your stitches are going to share holes. So there's the first cross stitch. And see, it just kind of fills that in. You could actually do another upright cross in there if you wanted to, but or upright rice. I decided to just do these little cross stitches in there just to give a little accent. Now on the actual design, I have this, what I'm doing in red and pink, so it's a little more subtle, but you can do it in a brighter color so it pops. So that's up to you, but here you can see how they fit together. And then make sure when you stitch it, you stitch the exact amount that are on, that's on the chart, not what I've diagrammed, because that only shows, you know, a couple of them. but your last stitch will be a cross stitch like this, and it will, so it will stick out 1 inch over on that side, or 1 thread on that side and 1 thread on this side. So that is the upright cross with, or upright rice. I keep forgetting to say it right, with a cross in between. So I hope you'll try that. And let me know how it goes. Did you like it? Let me know. So that's it for FlossTube 21. I tried to make it short and sweet. I know some of them get real long, but I have a lot to talk about. And I talk a lot. So again, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. I really appreciate it. So be sure to subscribe so you'll see when the next video posts. All my videos post on the 1st of the month, which has the stitch of the month, and then again on the 15th. And that one, on the 15th, I talk about antique samplers and antique needlework and other antique needlework tools, or whatever happens to be going on. So be sure to join Stitch of the Month Facebook group. You have to ask to join, and I will happily let you in. And then be sure to share your photos. I really want to see what people are working on. Let me know any stitches you want to learn. I have 365 of them here. And actually, I have more than that. But anyway, so again, all the links are posted below. So thank you again. And I will see you on the 15th of November. Wow.